Well, what are we doing today? We're going to talk about routers. I've been asked this question so many times that it's getting ridiculous. Uh, I was asked by Charlie from Overtime Arcades this same question. I was asked by one of the students that I'm teaching, Michael Cabinus, the same question. I've been asked by several people just who met me that wanted to know the same question. Last weekend at the grand opening of the Backstreet Classic Arcade in Lincoln, North Carolina, the same question came up. Talking to my friend Jennifer Hall. A lot of people on Club and all know Jennifer. She's a really great restorer. But we were talking about old routers compared to new routers. And that's where we're kind of going with this situation here with what I've got here is a bunch of older routers. Now, if you can afford to be new in this hobby and you want to just go out and buy you a top-of-the-line DeWalt, or maybe even up to a Festool, spend a couple $1,000 to buy the Festool system, you could do that. But starting out, I recommend that you go as cheap as possible, but reliable. I mean, you could go to Harbor Freight and buy you a router, and they have several different types of routers. I looked at them the other day when I was in Harbor Freight, but to be honest with you, I would be afraid to buy one of them, just thinking about how long would they last, and would it turn me off as a beginner in the hobby to buy a new router and it not last, and then have to turn around and buy another one. It could be really, really something that kind of makes you think whether or not I want to be in the hobby. You get it? Whereas you can buy these used routers that have been around forever for basically nothing. I mean, I think I bought this one at a yard sale for $5. I bought 3 of these at a flea market. I think I give $18, $20 for all 3 of them, $7, $8 a piece. This little Ryobi I gave $5 for. I think I gave $20 for the DeWalt and $30. This one was brand new in the box when I bought it. Gave $30 for it. It sells for over $300 online now, used. So you can find some great deals. But you have to decide, what are you going to use it for? What is the main purpose of buying this router? Maybe you're just wanting to trim some laminate that you've glued on the side of a cabinet. And this little Ryobi, this is a TR30U. It's a laminate trimmer. Works great. Has more plastic on the base than I would recommend. If I was wanting it, I bought it still in the box at an estate sale. Like I said, I gave nothing for it. It works good. It comes with all the attachments. It can be used to do other things. I can route tendons. I could route dados with this. I just have to make several passes instead of trying to take it all out at one time. But only because of the size of the motor, it would probably bog it down. Where this Hitachi will cut anything. I mean, it'll cut wood, laminate. It'll even cut through the top of your table saw. I know. I've done it. This DeWalt's the same way. But then you have to look at the function of each and what type of router you're looking for. This is a standard base. This is a standard base, and this is a standard base, which means you make the adjustment and you dial it in to where you want it up or down. This, and this are all plunge routers. And you can set the depth by pushing it up and down. This one, you just turn the little handle and push it down, lift it up, push it down, lock it back in where it don't move. Plunge routers are a great option. If I was going to buy a router and it had a chance to buy one that had a plunge base on it, definitely would buy it. Just a great option to have. Nothing wrong with the standard bases. It's just what I prefer. Now, there's another thing that you want to look at when you buy a router is the bases. And there's a reason for that. This Porta cable is probably from the 80s, and I guess no one back then thought about it, but it has a round base on it. Now, the round base does not work good if you're working with a fence because it doesn't have anything to really slide against. You're on the smallest part of that circle. Whereas the DeWalt has the flat edges, which would ride against the fence a lot better, but would all of these routers here, except for this one, would cut out the side of a cabinet easily. This one would do a better job cutting dados and tendons, although this one would do it, but it probably would not be as neat a cut or a joint as the DeWalt. Now, I recommend this one. I love this router. I've had these since I was started in woodworking back in the early 80s. My favorite is one of the brand that most of you would probably laugh at. It's the Black & Decker. Now, this is not just your average Black & Decker like your grandfather would have. This is a commercial Black & Decker. I love this router. It has all the features that I look for in a router. It's easy to adjust up and down with a little dial system here. Loosen it up, turn the dial up, down, whichever way you want to go with it. Lock it in. The handles are real comfortable. It's a heavy router. So you know when it sets down on your work, it's not going to vibrate away. I prefer the toggle switches compared to the push buttons like this one has. This one also has a toggle switch too, but it has an on and off button up there. The only problem with the toggle switches is if it's sitting in your shop, you always have to make sure before you plug it up that the toggle switch is on and off, because it could be dangerous to plug it up and it just turn on. I've done that in mine quite a few times. Then the next option would be, what size bit do you want to use? Bits are a big question. If you're just starting in woodworking, I would recommend bits that have a 1/4 inch shank. Now the shank is the part that goes up into the router, the length part, and it locks down into a collet. And there's different types of collets that I could spend an hour talking about that, but make this quick. The 1/4 inch shank will work in any of these routers. You can use a 1/4 inch shank. If you wanted to use a 1/2 inch shank, you couldn't use the 1/2 inch shank in some of these routers, especially this little Ryobi here, because this bit is almost as big as the router. It'll only take a 1/4 inch shank. But the Hitachis, the DeWalts, even the Skil will all run the 1/2 inch shank. The older ones here do not run it. They only run the 1/4 inch, but there's nothing wrong because anything I can do in a 1/2 inch shank, I can get in a 1/4 inch shank. And if you want to cut a T-molding groove in your cabinets, either one of these routers will do fine. Even the the laminate cutter. If you wanted to run, cut the sides for a cabinet out, either one of these right here would do it, except for this one. This one is the exception to most of the rules, only because of its size. You don't want to burn up your motor or burn up your bits because it doesn't have enough power. So guys, if you want to get into woodworking and you're looking for a router, let me make the recommendation. Go to your local flea market. Go to estate sales or flea market or yard sales on the weekends. Look for cheap routers. Old is good. You know, even the ones that people think of as being cheap, like Black & Decker, back in the day, they were really, really good equipment. And you can buy them from, I think this one is like a 1 horsepower, all the way up to 3 1/4. you know, for less than $30 compared to the Festool that it costs you a couple $1,000. Come on, grow with your hobby. Don't grow with your bank account. Okay, guys, I hope you helped you out some and maybe you learned something. God bless you, and I'll go get Gabriel. We're gonna work on another video. Check you out later.